What size shoes are those?
11.
Okay. Every time I see nice shoes, I ask what size they are, hoping that, I could kill the person and take their shoes. I had someone reply to me one time, my size. Like he knew I was looking at his shoes. Do you like cool sneakers? Do you care about that type of thing?
Well, to tell you the truth, the past year or so, I've pretty much worn the same one or two pairs of shoes. And then recently I cleaned up my life a little bit and I found all these shoes that I didn't even know I had. So now,
when he says recently, he means like this week. Literally this week.
It's going to bring it up. I've talked about I sell on eBay, and this business started with literally dumpster diving. But throughout this whole thing, I've also been dating someone, and she's seen me go through these cycles of bringing stuff in the apartment and then getting it out of there and then bringing it back in. And most recently, I just went overboard, and it was definitely my fault. I bought an entire garage full of stuff for $3,000, and I should have bought another storage unit for it, but I stored a bunch of it in the apartment, and it basically looked like a hoarder apartment for this whole summer. And because of that, I've not been able to do a bunch of shit, and it caused fights with the girlfriend, so I finally just got rid of everything. I mean, right now it's 90% of the eBay inventory in the apartment is gone. There's still some left in the office, which I'm hoping to just list right now and not buy more, which I think is a problem of mine, where I think I like to buy faster than I sell. I think I've realized. So
I fell into that a little bit this week.
I seen you fall into it a little. I was surprised because you hit me up about this GameStop. Everything on clearance at GameStop had another 50% off, which is for resellers, your ears perk up. And you hit me up saying you bought all this stuff, and some of it is big.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And I literally purposely passed up on some things that you bought because I didn't want to even be holding it in my inventory for too long, because I always have to be aware of storage for sure, and then also how much money I want to be putting into this inventory and how long it's going to be held there.
Right.
When I could be buying something else, and I don't care if this thing's 50 cents a piece. If I'm selling them $10 a day, I'm going to be doing that, and I got another $10 to work with today. Anyways, yeah, we can get into economics or how building your business, all that bullshit, or money management and wealth management, but. I bought way more than I could fucking list, and I finally got another storage unit. I'm actually on the market for a trailer, which I got another story for you, which is funny. But this past week or two here that I've cleaned out the apartment, it's been amazing. I don't know why I was so clouded with this list, and I just didn't care about everything else, and now I can fucking work out in my apartment again, and I've found all this stuff I didn't even know I had. You know what I mean?
Well, what's funny is I haven't been over to your place since New Year's Eve, and
half a year, more ago.
So I didn't see the situation where you moved a garage into your apartment.
I guess, yeah, you didn't. This summer, you haven't really stopped by.
So when I came over this past weekend, you were showing me the apartment. I was like,
looks about the same.
It looks about the same. And then our other friends came over, and they were like, holy shit, this place, you really cleaned up. And I was like, what did this look like before?
I guess you came over to the yard sale, but I didn't invite you upstairs, I guess. Or maybe all the shit was downstairs for the yard sale.
I did not go upstairs that day.
Oh, okay.
I just hung out downstairs.
Yeah, so they had seen it when all the shit was in the apartment, and it was like you had to walk through the apartment sideways, you know what I mean, to get everywhere. It was bad, man. And like I invite my, some family over, and they think I'm a hoarder, and I'm like, it's tough to explain to people, like, this is all for sale. Like, I would love to get rid of it right now. I'm just trying to get a couple bucks for it, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I kind of had to realize, dude, you bought way more than you could manage. Like, I have 3 storage units now, and I'm consolidating down to 2 right now. I just in the process of just moving shit. And
do you think like you could buy one big storage unit for maybe even a little cheaper than 3 storage units?
That's the goal for sure. I got one storage unit out in Aurora when I first started the eBay store, and that storage unit basically has turned into like stuff I've been saving for when I buy a house. So it's got a giant chest freezer, and it's got all the gym equipment for a home gym, and I don't know, stuff like that. And I've kept it this entire time because that storage unit had a free moving truck rental. So, I mean, I use that thing, I'm telling you, probably 6, 7, 8 times. I mean, I use it to move a couch and to move a bunch of shit out of from one place to another. It was a free rental, you know what I mean? Fuck it, you just had to fill the gas up. So, but recently they went under new management, and the old management took the truck.
Okay.
So I'm like, and it's the way out in Aurora, so I have no reason to keep this thing anymore. But it's not eBay inventory either. So the one storage unit is nothing but listed eBay inventory. And it's literally, I like it because it's a tiny unit, but I got it on the 3rd floor of this giant storage unit complex, and they only charge me for like a 5x10 or something, but the ceiling goes up 20, 30 feet. And so I literally put shelves all the way up the fucking thing with a ladder in the middle. So I like this one specifically because of this. And the 3rd storage unit I bought is 2 down from it.
Okay.
And I'm currently building that one up right now and it is already housing what it basically is unlisted eBay inventory. So yeah,
this sounds so unsafe. I'm imagining like you assembled these shelves. They're different shelves. They're stacked on top of each other. They're leaning.
No, they're held by zip ties.
Yeah. Okay.
I should bring you
that's
over,
exactly
man.
what I meant. Please don't.
So
I'll be stressed out about it. I don't need another stressor.
Speaking of it being unsafe, so I was there yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, and I just get done. So, like I said, it's a ladder and 2 shelves, and I also have. So you open the door, I have a shelf that's on a rolling cart. So to get into the ladder, you pull this shelf out, and then you can go up the ladder. It's like a little rolly shelf. So I have this shelf out, and maybe a box or 2 open that I was looking in, and some guy comes up, and he's literally in like the unit next to me, which is like the first time this has ever happened to me. I've been there for a year or 2 now, and I have never accidentally randomly run into one of my neighbor units. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hey, I'm done. I'm literally just getting done. Let me put these 2 boxes away. Put this thing away. Take 2 seconds. So I grab the box. I go to hop on the ladder, and I go to put the box up, and I'm literally, I think only the 2nd stair high, maybe 3. I don't know. And I start to lose the box, and I'm not exactly sure how it happened, but I think I try to go step down now, but I missed the second step. And so basically my straight at body like this went whoosh, just straight from this to flat sideways. And that's why today I was walking real slow, because I basically fell on my hip, and I haven't looked at it. I'm sure it's gonna bruise right here. So my that the night before I had done my dang first home workout in a long time, and I worked on legs too. So my legs are fucking sore as shit. And then I fell on my hip, so my legs are done right now.
Your tombstone would read, "He died how he lived, surrounded by shit."
Yeah, just everything falls on top of me, man. And then what else is funny is this guy is basically waiting for me to get my shit out of the way. So it's just me going, whoosh, and then the box falling over. And he's like, "You okay?" Man, I tell you what, I wanted to just lay there.
If I was him, I wouldn't have said anything. I probably would have just went to my car and like, no. I'll come back in like 20 minutes.
Man. It's like I can run an errand quick, dude.
Yeah, I don't want to be around this. This guy's over here trying to kill himself.
I mean, it was my fault. I was trying to rush, and this guy was there, and yeah. So maybe I do have to rethink my storage situation. It would be better just to have one nice long unit where I can just put the shelves this way instead of vertically.
Right, for sure.
We're working.
What's funny is I have 2 cabinets full of stuff that I'm selling, and a little bit in a closet, and then a couple things right there, and that's stressful to me.
What else is crazy too is you probably have comparable eBay sales, and you're mostly selling just little cards like this big.
Yeah.
Where my strategy has been whatever the fuck I can make $1 on.
Yeah,
buy
for sure.
It. And I mean, to tell you the truth, I said this before, but my first strategy was getting shit for free that people are throwing away out of the dumpsters. And then as I made some money, now it's buy whatever you can. And then more recently, it's definitely become more refined as what do I want to specialize in? I'm not going to just buy everything. It's like
I literally just changed the name of my. First of all, I bought an eBay store, so now I'm paying $20 a month or whatever it is.
Off the free account. All right, I'm on the next level.
And I changed my store name to Soup Shop TCG.
Nice.
So now it's like just trading card stuff, or like that's my specialize. And I started listing ungraded single cards. So like even if it's just like a couple bucks or whatever it is, that's up there now too.
Nice. I have 2 eBay stores, and one is a personal account and one is a business account. And I started the second store because I went into eBay jail on my main store, which means I was not shipping my products out as fast as I said I was going to, which probably was also due to being super messy and buying too much shit. My bad. Anyways.
Yeah. If they buy something, how do you even know where it is?
Now I do. Well, every bin has A, B, C, D, E on the bin.
Okay.
And then my item is in bin A. So now I just go right to it, which at first I used to just try to do, I'll put all the headphones in one bin and put all this in one bin, but eventually something gets mixed in something else and you just get fucked and you're looking through your entire unit for one item.
Oh, Jesus.
After 4 or 5 times doing that, I finally like, okay, gotta sit down and just start doing this right. So I learned that from the big time eBayers. It's inventory management.
Today I sold a graded card, and all of my graded cards are in that little drawer right there. And there are 4 piles because that's how I stacked them as high as I could in that drawer. And so there are 3 piles stacked all the way to the top, and there's a separate pile with just 2 cards. But it was underneath my rubber bands, so I didn't see that 4th pile.
Oh.
And the card that I sold was in that fourth pile. So I'm looking through the 3 big piles, and I'm losing my fucking mind. Like, where is this card?
That's another, yeah, if you have...
It has to be in this drawer.
Yeah, that's happened to me so many, same situation where I didn't know where the item was, and it was literally in the bin I thought it was in, but it was just underneath something, you just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's the inventory management now. Each bin has an A, B, C, or D, and then a note on the eBay thing. So anyways, I have a personal and business account, and I started the second one. I actually just had a personal account. I started the second one because I went in eBay jail. And then I also started really making some decent sales, and I've been wanting to put an LLC to this, and I finally did. And I was trying to figure out which account do I want to put the LLC on. So I put it on my original account that was in eBay jail because that account was my oldest account. This is the account I made in college or something like that, just to be an eBay user, you know what I mean? So yeah, I had feedback, from way back then, and it had already built up.
Yeah, my account was made in 2012.
Yeah, it's so old.
It's so old.
It's like one of the oldest, and it's still one of the most successful e-commerce sites. But
yeah,
I put it onto that. So then I kept this other account, which I had started because I was in eBay jail. And I basically just I have it as a personal account, the free account, and I figured, I don't know, I'm probably like ultimately losing money on like eBay fees or something. I have to like do some math on it, but I've kind of just been putting my expensive items on my personal account because you get 20 to 100 or something free listings a month on the free account. So I was like, okay, I'll just put everything that's like $100 and up or whatever on this thing, and it's free kind of, I guess. But I know I'm paying eBay fees, so it's probably that's how they get you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if I even need the personal account or not. But I only brought that up because I have a funny little eBay story here for you. It's actually Craigslist, but I've been on the lookout for an enclosed trailer because some of the stuff that I have is like, maybe it's eBay inventory, but I probably don't have time for it. It's probably more like yard sale, flea market. So one of my goals is to have all that in a enclosed trailer, and then I could just go to the flea market and set up tables, or even if I have a yard sale in the future, easily put it all right there, So the past couple of months I've been looking for an enclosed trailer, and side story, I bought an enclosed trailer to move to Colorado, and I lucked out on it. I'm kicking myself in the ass because I sold it, but I bought a giant, I don't even know, 30-footer, maybe it's 24. It was huge. It had double axle, and I bought it for like $3,500 from a dude in Iowa the week that I was planning on moving. And I had been looking for a trailer and stuff, and this guy posted it, and literally as I'm buying it, he's like talking to me like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did post this too cheap because I'm having a ton of people hit me up on it. I just happened to be the first one to hit him, get to him. And I ended up moving out here with all my stuff with it, and then I sold it for $4,200, thinking I just need to sell the thing, and I wanted to make my money back and get this, but ultimately I should have actually done more research because that was probably $5,000 to $6,000 fucking trailer. What are you gonna do? Now I'm trying to get a smaller one, and guess what? Those are $3,500 now. It's like, God damn it. And not that I need a giant one now, but it's like I'm kicking myself in the ass. I could have just probably kept that around. But so the funny story is, this morning I'm up early because I can hardly sleep with my hip being in pain, falling off a damn ladder. And so what do? I go on Craigslist real quick to shop enclosed trailers like I've been doing. And somebody posted one an hour ago, beautiful little enclosed trailer for like $1,000. Obviously probably sounds too good to be true, but I'm going to send them a message on it. They had text and they had a phone number. And I shot them both, a text, and I gave them a call and left a voicemail. And then the next message says, I'm at work right now. You can email my aunt and she'll talk to you about it or whatever. I'm like, great. Here we go down this rabbit hole. So I email them, which is, giving my email away. I'm already dumb enough, but I'm going to go for it. And the email, I'm really interested in this trailer. Then they email me back a giant paragraph. It should be 3 paragraphs. Here, the information about the trailer, the pictures with it, the reason that I went through a divorce and
a sob story.
Yeah, the sob.
That's how you know it's a scam.
And I'm gonna sell this through eBay because of their buyer protection.
Yeah,
and
we almost fell for the same trap.
Luckily I love eBay. I would love to go through eBay. If you could put this, if this is a listing on eBay right now, I'll buy it through there. I use an app that gets me Bitcoin. Like we'll get that side Bitcoin, So, anyways, and there's buyer protection. Like it's way better than Craigslist. You kidding me? I could refund it if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they're giving me this whole thing like, give me, you have to email me your address and I'll inform eBay about. Like, what do you mean you gotta inform eBay about this and take care? They even said they had like a free shipping coupon or something weird. It was, and then of course at this point I'm just like, well, I guess I'm just gonna fuck with these guys. Like I email them back, hey, that's awesome. I love eBay. Send me the eBay link. I'm a power seller. I've been selling on eBay for a long time. And I would love to do buy this right now. Send me the link or whatever. And they send me another email like, no, let me clear this up for you. Like you have to send, obviously trying to get my address and all that. So I don't know. This didn't go very far. I sent them one more email about how I love eBay and my address and my payment info is directly linked to my eBay account. So you get that after I pay for it.
We were looking for like an RV type situation, and we found one. Same thing. The price was really good. Message them. They say it's parked at my sister's. Email her. Ugh. Email her. She sends us a bunch of pictures along with a sob story about her husband just died and that's the reason it's being sold. And then they wanted same thing. We're going to sell it through eBay or whatever the fuck the case may be.
This was the first time I've heard eBay, but I've heard this similar scam. It's usually some sort of a check, right? They want you to get a money order or some shit.
So this week I got scammed, or they tried to scam me, except the opposite way. I'm selling my trailer on OfferUp. And they send me a message, hey, I'm interested in buying the trailer. What's the lowest price you could do? And I said something like, there's some room to negotiate, but I'm not throwing out the first number. You make an offer.
You haven't sold it yet, have you?
No.
Side note, you can cut it out. Cole really actually might buy that from you.
Okay.
If you're interested. He is very, very interested. Well, I guess I'm going to add whatever. My cousin is very interested in buying this trailer from you. He is very interested in starting some sort of a rental business himself.
Okay.
Rent tools. He's got giant tools that he does with his business and a trailer as well. So potential buyer for sure.
So
anyways,
I'll message Cole or something.
Mm-hmm.
The guy throws out a price that is like $100 less than what it's listed for. And I was like, okay, deal. And then he said, cool, I'm going to mail you a certified bank check or whatever. and I'll have my guy come pick it up. And I was like, son of a bitch, dude. Like, the thing that pisses me off the most is these people are wasting my fucking time.
I know. It's like, have anybody that uses Craigslist now, haven't we all heard the scam already? Like, you don't send checks over to people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I told him,
this is always face to face.
I'm only accepting cash the date of the sale, face to face, after inspection.
That's how it works. And what else too? Like, if you're gonna send me a giant story about this, any normal person is gonna send me as little info as possible.
Right.
Maybe add in there, hey, just to let you know, this thing's kind of busted. You know what I mean?
The thing is I'm not quite sure how the scam works that they tried to pull on me this week. So I'm part of this big Discord, and I screenshotted what this guy said, and
was this through email?
This was through the OfferUp app.
Oh, okay.
So I screenshotted what he had said. Obviously, he wanted my address and my email and shit. I never gave that to him. And I sent that into the Discord. I'm like, I know that this is a scam, but does anyone know how this scam works? Nobody did, and I still don't know how it works. Like, how is he going to send me a bank certified check?
Well, okay, here's how it works. It clears in your account at first.
Okay.
But it takes a week for this check to certify. So when the bank finally comes back and says, "Hey, there's nothing in the account or whatever is linked to this thing. We need to take that money back." It ends up like that's kind of how it works. That's the gist of it.
Then what? Then they take the money back, and
the bank takes the money back.
But I assume this guy lives in like Nigeria. Nobody's taken my trailer yet. Unless he actually has someone that would have come and picked up the trailer, and then I would be out the trailer and the money a week later.
He's in Nigeria.
I don't know. I assumed that's... if there are any Nigerians watching, look, your country has a bad reputation.
Well, I don't know, man. I guess I'm not that big of a scammer. I do enjoy...
I'd love to know how it works, because I'd be offering people checks all week.
I do enjoy the TikToks of these hackers that are apparently getting back at scammers. You ever watch those?
I used to watch Kit Boga a lot.
I never know the names of them, but I mean, it's funny because somehow these guys also have the fucking camera footage of the scammers' places that working at in like India.
I forget the guy's name, but there is one guy that like actually hacks into their computer and looks at their camera and looks at their files.
Yeah, and it's just funny to watch because he does whatever he wants, and he's like on the phone with them, and they're like, you know, their lunch is clearly out, and like, how was your lunch? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then they'll be like, who is this? Oh man,
there's this other guy I watch named Kit Boga, and he never messes with their shit, but he has set up like, first of all, a fake computer, so that even when they hack into it, nothing bad happens. And he has set up all of these fake websites that look like his bank account and shit like that. And then he has voice changers where he plays different characters.
I think I know who you're talking about. I've seen that.
So
guy.
he plays like an old lady, and his goal is just to waste as much of their time as possible. And sometimes he'll waste like 80 hours of their time. It's so great.
Oh man. I think I've seen that. There's a couple of them out there I've been watching recently, but I think he's one of the most popular ones because he changes his voice and everything with the voice changer.
He's so funny.
Sometimes it's a really high-pitched voice. You're like, there's no way they think this is a real person, man.
Right.
And then sometimes an old lady or whatever. That's great stuff. Maybe there is some. There's some superheroes in this world. Huh?
Yeah, for sure.
The hackers.
Yeah.
Anonymous. That's funny.
Back to the eBay stuff.
Oh yeah.
I already told you this, but I'll reshare the story since I don't think I've told it on the podcast. But one of the big ways I make money is I send like trading cards off to PSA to get graded. They send them back, and then I can resell them. The service that I use to do that is their bulk service, which is their cheapest service. And it's for like lower value cards.
You don't want to use their name? You think they're going to get mad at you?
PSA?
Oh, okay.
I already said it. You didn't hear it. Well, they put that service on pause for a year because trading cards exploded and
COVID, everybody went in their basement and got their old cards out and thought that they became millionaires.
Exactly. So they had a huge backlog. They paused the service. They reopened the service about a month ago. And I have been sitting on all of these cards that I'm trying to get graded. And they announced that this service now costs $22 per card. So I was like, fuck, I can't send in all my cards because some of these, it's not even worth it to send in. So I'm only going to send in 144 cards.
I was about to say, I thought you were sending in everything. This is a limited stock of yours?
There are 3 times as many cards that I have like ready to be shipped off.
I mean, I have a solid stack that I want to get sent off. But now you're making me wonder if there's a lot more I should be looking into. But anyways.
So they open up $22.
You're also happy to even get this deal because they've been shut down for this whole time. Like you're just
if you're not doing it, if you're not doing it $22 a card, you're doing it at $50 a card for their other service.
You're pretty much making your money back. You sell it on eBay. Any graded card is pretty much $20, $30 more than an ungraded card. Basically,
sure, yeah.
Basically, I mean,
so. They finally opened this thing back up. I'm like, okay, this is a high price. Normally it was like, I think it cost me like $18 a card after everything, after shipping, after insurance last time. So I'm like, $20 a card, that fucking sucks. But I need to get these flipped. I need to start making some money back. So I sent in 144 cards. And it gets to PSA, whatever, a few weeks later. And this just happened last week, like 4 days ago, maybe more. They send me an email saying, we're going to drop the price of this down to $18 a card. So that is $4 per card. 4 times 144 is like $800 or something. I don't know.
Not quite that much.
Not quite. But
5, 6, 5.
I'm 5. Losing my mind because I'm like that, for like a small business, that's a huge profit. Like,
oh yeah,
that I have to sell several cards to make that up now.
It's another 50 cards you could have got graded or whatever.
The very next day, they send me an email saying, we're doing a special right now. Any of these bulk cards, any of these non-sport trading cards, we're doing them at $15 per card. So now it's $7 per card that I'm paying extra, and
for 144,
which is like $1,000.
No, that's adding up.
And now that's $1,000.
That's $1,000.
So I had I almost cried. I was having a breakdown, and I sent them an email.
That's a couple 3D printers right there for you.
Yes, it is.
Which is kind of what and we haven't talked about it. You're kind of making a goal to have a closet full of 3D printers.
Yeah.
Get going on that.
So I sent them an email. I'm like, look, I understand, an agreed upon price, and it's my fault for trusting you guys. And I know there's nothing can be done, but I hate you guys. Essentially, I said, I fuck you guys. Like,
right.
This is such a scummy thing to do. If you knew you were going to drop the price, or if you thought you were getting away with something with the higher price only to realize you couldn't.
I was already paying more than I've ever paid before.
Exactly. So they haven't replied to that email yet, but I woke up this morning and all 3 of my submissions, which I wasn't expecting back until January, they got pushed through. They're already being graded at this point.
Yeah, all your past ones took like a year or 2 to get graded. So these are on track to be back to me by like November at this point. But I have a feeling like they saw the email and they're like, before this guy cancels his order, let's push these fuckers through. It's only going to take you a month?
It's going to take...
Or less?
Yeah.
Wow.
If they're grading already at this point, grading is going to take, on 144 cards, 3 different submissions. I assume grading is going to take like 2 weeks maybe. Then they got to go through 2 quality assurance checks. before shipping them off. So yeah, this could be to me late November.
Wow. That's wild.
But it cost a lot of money to do that. So now I'm doing this. I'm prepping a different submission for the $15 special because I got to
Hell yeah.
try to make the money back somehow.
When are you sending that out?
It'll be after Collecticon because I want to see what I can buy there or what I can look at there.
Oh, yeah. Because they're going to have a booth set up. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to get my pile out. Maybe get 1 or 2 graded at the booths.
So it'll probably be the Wednesday after Collecticon that I do my shipment. Okay. Or the Thursday maybe. That way you can meet back up with me and give me some cards.
Okay. Right on. Is that the end of that story? That's pretty lame.
It's a sad story.
Pretty lame.
It's a sad story.
We're not big YouTubers yet, by the way. So $1,000 is a hit.
$1,000 really hurts. Yeah.
That's a hit, man. That's you could have had your dang closet full of 3D printers done.
Yeah.
Actually, right? I mean, they're about $100, $200 a piece. You want to get like 8 of them? Well, we would have been almost there.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been better.
Well, the other thing I was going to bring up, did you see the news or the videos of these professional fishers that
with
got
the
caught
sinkers
cheating?
Yeah.
Man. Oh my God.
I
How
love
long has this been going on, man?
Dude,
that had to have been going on for years.
For those who haven't seen it, maybe I'll throw the video on screen, but
man.
There are these professional bass fishers, and yeah, like you win based on how much your bass weighs that you caught at the tournament, and they're shoving sinkers down the throats of these fish.
Sinkers and, I don't know if you saw it,
fish fillets.
Pieces of fish fillets in there, man.
Does that make sense to you, the fish fillets? Like,
I guess they can shove a little more. You think you go straight sinkers, but
I'd fill that fucker up with sinkers, yeah.
But you don't want the fish to, I don't know if it blocks the sinkers. That's the sinker block.
Oh, okay.
Man, how wild.
That's a good point. What's weird about, or what's really funny about that to me is like when they're during the video where they call this guy out.
Yeah.
All the other competitors are surrounding this guy and they're losing their mind, as they should, because they've probably lost.
A mob started instantly because they're all getting their fish weighed together. They're all figuring out who's placing right now.
Yeah.
The contest is done. Who's getting the money? And that's the other thing. These guys have been making money doing this for years. They've been a top contender.
It should be like a criminal thing.
Because
they stole money from these other people.
Never going to be allowed to compete again. Wow, man.
They start cutting open this bass to reveal the sinkers, and everyone starts screaming, and someone in the background yells, "We got weights and fish!" That line gets me every time, dude. I don't know why. It's stupid.
Because it's something we've never been worried about, but apparently this is like the underground. Like, they know what's going on. They've been putting sinkers in their fucking fish, haven't they?
Meanwhile, the guy, I think it's the guy who did this, is like in the middle of this mob with his head down, like so ashamed that
that's the other thing too, is they're not trying to defend themselves. They're straight up like, I don't know how they got out of there without getting fucking pummeled.
I'd be like, oh, weird. I mean, maybe they swallowed those.
There's really bad pollution in this river, man.
Like, yeah, a lot of people just cut their lines. Could have gotten them that way.
I use this kind of technique where I jiggle the sinkers and they go for them, man. It's crazy. I'm just a better fisherman than all you guys.
100%.
Oh, what a story, man. Those people are so mad, man. It's like you just see the two guys and one guy cutting it open, and then it turns into 40 of them just enclosing on him, man. And I don't know.
I can't imagine how it wasn't
how many more
realized
of them are doing it too
sooner.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's got to be more of them. It can't just be them.
First of all, you would think like one of the things they do is they like quickly just run over the fish with like a neodymium magnet to make sure.
That's another thing, right?
It's not like this is like some futuristic tech move. This could have been done for...
They just didn't do that, I guess, huh? I mean, how dumb is that?
And then how does a professional bass fisher look at a bass and go, oh, that's weird that it's, 8 pounds when it looks like a 6 pound bass. You think at that level, what a 6 pound bass looks like versus...
You know what they need is the thing like at the airport. They put the bass on the thing and then they'll see right
yeah. They just run it through like an x-ray. It's got a full McDonald's fish fillet inside of it.
What are those, Hot Wheels? You throw Hot Wheels in there? We got Hot Wheels.
We got Hot Wheels and fish.
Fish fillets, guys. Dude.
Such a crazy story. There were a lot of cheating scandals this week. I don't know if you paid attention to the chess one.
No, I didn't hear the chess one.
Okay, so
I did see the poker one recently, though. The chick in the poker game got caught cheating.
Yeah. The chess one is... have you ever heard of Magnus Carlsen?
That sounds familiar.
It should, because he's like the most famous and
Chess player?
biggest chess player ever.
Okay.
He was in a tournament, and this other guy whose name I forget, younger guy, he's like been rising the ranks in the chess scene. He sits down with Magnus Carlsen. They're going to do this game for the tournament. And within 2 moves, Magnus Carlsen gets up and walks away. And doesn't say anything about it.
He knows in 2 moves what's going on.
Yeah. So then the guy who won gets interviewed later, and he's like, yeah, I knew I would probably be up against Magnus Carlsen, so I spent this past week really studying his lines. Okay, like his different openers and shit like that.
Sure.
And people who play chess professionally and like who really study Magnus Carlsen, they start looking for like, when was the last time he did this opener and used this line? One time ever, like a few years ago.
Yeah.
So they're like, bullshit that you anticipated his next move.
Yeah, you've been studying it, and then you randomly guess the one he did it 10 years ago or something.
Right, that's the one you happen to study.
Yeah.
So nothing gets really said. People start assuming this guy's a cheater. And here's the thing. They don't know how he cheated. So...
with something like chess, like I always just think like there's some kind of savant, and you're just like, they get something I don't understand. You know what I mean?
Well, there is this computer that can look at the chessboard, okay? And as long as it's looking at the chessboard and it sees how a couple pieces get moved,
Computer always wins.
These people before have put this computer in their shoe. So then the shoe vibrates. The computer's telling you the next chess move, and it goes like dun 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 for D, and then dun 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 for 3, and then you move your pawn to D3 or whatever the case.
Wow.
And
Unbelievable.
the thing is now is that's already been done. So they check these people's shoes. They put a wand over them.
I think that's kind of what happened with this chick poker player. People saw something on her vibrating, and then she would,
make a move,
fold or whatever and shit. Anyways.
So they're like, how the hell? They're assuming that this is the type of cheat he did.
Yeah.
But they checked him before going in. So then this wild theory, and this is why it's interesting, this wild theory starts coming up that the thing that was vibrating was built into a butt plug and inserted into the guy. And that's how he cheated.
Awesome.
Well, that's just a theory for now.
Butt plug cheater.
So then
that's good.
Something happened to where like...
Now that I think about this chick that was playing poker had a butt plug.
It'd be all too easy.
I was watching some racy poker channel.
So this guy and Magnus Carlsen go to compete again. This time it's like online maybe or something. After one move, Magnus Carlsen signs off. Like, I'm not playing this fucking guy. Like, I can already tell he's cheating. But he's being really weird about it. He's not outright accusing the guy of cheating.
Because he's like, I don't know how to
prove he's cheating.
Right. I know after all these games, There's no way that you're going to make that move after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now the world's eyes are on this guy, and this latest this latest chess tournament that was televised, the camera is on the guy as he's being checked. And this guy has a big fro too, okay? So I'm thinking that like it's a plastic clip that might be like way down in his head, because they didn't really check his hair.
Right.
So maybe that's where the vibrations are coming from.
They still haven't figured this out.
No.
They're just accusing this kid of cheating.
Yeah, and now was one thing that lays further into the claim of cheating is that there's like chess.com or something, like the big chess tournament website for non-in-person tournaments. They came out with a statement saying, we've caught this guy cheating in the past, and we have proof that on our website he's cheated in over 100 games.
Mm-hmm.
So now everyone's like, he's definitely a cheater. They just got to figure out how he's been cheating in real life tournaments.
Huh. That'll be interesting. We'll see if that story unfolds. I love a good cheater story. I do. I mean, I think we talked about it. I don't like it if it's, somebody, we're competing against each other in a contest, We talked about the guy who scammed the government out last week. Like, I enjoy that. Like, that cheater is awesome. Good. He sold the 3D printed guns to the government buyback, and they had no regulations on 3D printed guns. So he made $20,000, which
it was actually in Houston. As I was researching,
that was in New York
with pictures for it. It turned out it was in Houston, which I thought was weird that Texas did a buyback.
I'm sure they got a lot of guns. That's tax money, and now I'm sure they're gonna end up getting their taxes. That's gonna come somewhere. But anyways, that cheater I love. I got one more thing for you to end the podcast today, and I hate to bring him up because I don't.
Before you do though, you
got one more?
One quick story.
Go ahead.
Because your hip reminded me of it. Did you see the girl that broke her back at TwitchCon?
No.
TwitchCon happened last weekend, okay? And there's this girl who I hadn't heard of her before, and I assumed she was just a small streamer. But Lenovo, the computer company,
yep,
you know them?
I know them.
They set up a foam pit, and in the middle of the foam pit are two pillars. One person stands on each pillar, and then you have those giant Q-tip looking things, and whoever knocks off wins, or She knocked someone off. She won. And as a victory thing, she jumped into the foam pit.
Oh, no.
But the foam pit is like a foot deep. They didn't set this up correctly. It's like one foam or two foam squares deep. Oh, no. And she landed on her ass. And she broke her back in 2 places. And she had to get surgery a couple days later. She's still in the hospital to get a rod installed in her back. And I'm thinking to myself, this is probably just a small streamer. Hopefully that there's something they can do to sue. This is not a small streamer. This is a massive streamer. This is one of like the top tier OnlyFans creators. She has like million.
Rewind. Top tier OnlyFans creator?
Yeah.
What's her name again?
It's popped up on screen, but I forgot her name.
Can she make sure she's the thumbnail?
She has like millions of followers on Instagram and on Twitter. So the thing is that now they're fucked because this person has money to sue, and there is recourse.
And she's suing TwitchCon.
She would sue Lenovo.
Lenovo. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine.
Yeah.
So, I think there's real something there to be like, look, this is how I make my money is through OnlyFans. I get my back pounded out, and now that can't happen anymore.
You think guys want to look at me with a rod in my back?
Well, do you think I can take it with a rod in my back?
Can you think I can twerk with a rod in my back?
Exactly. No, exactly.
I make money twerking.
So I think that
could be a multi-million-dollar lawsuit.
100%. I think that she'll get millions from Lenovo because there's probably a lot of things that she does to make money that she probably can't do anymore, or at least for a long time.
Sorry to hear that, Lenovo. You shouldn't be putting freaking foam pits.
She wasn't the only one that got hurt. Oh! Someone else broke their ankle. Someone else, 2 other people in the hospital for sprains.
Just keep adding it up. I mean, I bet there's no way they signed a damn waiver before they got up on that fucking thing.
They did. But
you can fight that.
She's been posting on her Twitter because she is definitely going to sue these people. She posted on the Twitter a clip of the Lenovo workers, the booth attendants, saying, when you're done, just hop in the pit butt first, which is literally what she did to break her back.
Wow, that's sad. I mean, nothing in life is guaranteed, man. I don't take your health for granted, man.
Yeah.
I'm so glad my OnlyFans is still on and
it's on the up and up.
Popping.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to bring up today, and like I said, I don't particularly intend to bring this guy up anymore.
I have a feeling. I mean, there's
yeah,
like 6 people. It could be a few guys who I hate talking about.
But it should give you a little hint since I said I don't want to bring him up. I'll bring up Liver King any day of the week, right?
Okay.
So this guy is the guy we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, Andrew Tate. All right.
Oh.
Now,
yeah.
the reason I brought him up is because he had a video out I saw recently, and it brings me back to our cancel culture argument we've had a few times, where this statement's kind of been brought up in the last couple of years about this, cancel culture and canceling people that you disagree with their views and whatnot. And I think Andrew kind of fell under this. I'm putting quotes around it because you have argued about this. Like we're not canceling him. He just, he didn't follow YouTube's terms of service and they kicked him off, So here's what I want to bring up. In the video, he said the same week or weekend that he goes canceled from YouTube, he was also canceled from multiple apps on his phone, which I thought was interesting. Airbnb canceled him. Uber canceled him.
Yeah, one of his credit services canceled him too.
Yes, Stripe or whatever. And I thought that was kind of crazy. Like, I mean, we have no idea what's going on. He could be actually prostitution or underage. We don't know if he's getting charged with shit or if it, most of the public, is it just because, it's not just because he's talking shit about being a over masculine or something, because that would worry me. Like, you should be welcome to an opinion.
I don't understand.
Kick him off of YouTube because you don't want to show him there, but I don't know. I mean, is he telling the truth? You got kicked off of Uber, Lyft,
I've heard him make that argument before. I actually listened to his hour-long.
No way.
Yeah, right after he got.
It's definitely on my algorithms now because they seem to know that I seem to watch some of his video, or I watch a little too long.
Right after he got removed from all these platforms, he put out an hour-long video about why he thinks he got removed and like how he whatever. Sure. He's making up all these excuses.
And that's the thing, is he could be a complete liar, man. There's so much lies out there, and he could be facing some real charges that we don't even know about,
That's the only thing I can think of. Like, why would your bank tell you can't do transactions through them anymore unless they're worried about where these funds are coming from?
Now, do you know anything about how he makes money besides YouTube?
Yeah, like his Hustlers University.
And besides that?
He's talked about it before, but no, I don't remember.
I mean, I don't even mean to be bragging about him at all, but he is an interesting cat because he was a fighter, right? He made money fighting, and he also bought businesses and multiple businesses. He talks about one. He owns a multiple or at least one casino in like
Oh, I have heard about his casinos. Yeah.
Yeah, and he got into it because he found these guys, this mob family in I don't know what country, if it, you know where he's associated with, but he said that the mob he asked the mob family if he could start one of the casinos as a franchise. They said no, and then he ended up making a deal with them, saying that I'll put one up right next to your competitor. At the very least, we'll steal from him, and they agreed to it. And he said he put one up not only next to a competitor, but also next to a Starbucks and charged free coffee. And he ended up taking the Starbucks down and the other competing casino down. And I mean, not you know, like I said, I'm not trying to brag about the guy, but it's this guy has now. But you're talking about casinos and mobs and money laundering now. Maybe like what else are we not?
Well,
not talking about?
That's the point. So like the apps you mentioned that they removed his account from, like Airbnb and his like bank crediting apps. These are apps that you transact money through. So it's possible that they're seeing this shit and they're going, we can't be caught taking money from this guy anymore, or like allowing transactions to go through us for him. Yeah. Because if there is a criminal thing, or even if they're just worried about it, it's probably very bad for them. I don't know the rules. Like, do they have to return the money?
It's just so many questions I want to bring up, because like he says, when the Matrix cancels you, and then, you know, they all do. So I'm like, what do you mean, man? Like something happened here, man. Like it's not like Uber called up Airbnb. Like there's something going on where
yeah. Because Uber's another one that you transact through.
Yeah.
They don't want his money passing through them for some reason.
So, I don't know. I just want to bring it up because we've kind of debated this whole cancel culture thing. And I actually believe you actually kind of convinced me pretty well that, like, yeah, it's not really cancel culture. It's just YouTube or whatever platform you were advertising on can kick you out because of their terms of service. But that's what kind of was a red flag to me, was like, that's not how cancel culture works. Is it like they're going to cancel me off of Uber, you know? But we don't know the whole story. We don't know if I imagine he's doing something fishy, you know, other than just talking about being a super alpha male or whatever, you know?
Imagine Airbnb is a great way to launder money. Imagine you have people accuse like Donald Trump of it with his hotels.
They all could be connected. He uses the Airbnb to travel there. Yeah.
Or like, you know,
I mean the Uber to travel to the Airbnb, and then
if I rent
a car in Truro.
If I have the apartment next door to me, right? It's near the airport. You could make it an Airbnb, and that would be totally reasonable. Maybe $100 a night. But if I start charging $10,000 a night, and people are still staying there, that should be a red flag. Like, they're paying me for something else. They're not paying me to stay there. They're paying me for something else.
Man, did we just uncover? Like we're like detectives right now.
Yeah.
Like, we know what's going on, man. It'd be really cool. I mean, pretty crazy if in a couple of weeks we find out all this shit's been going on, and we called it out. One of these days we're gonna call it out. Like the Simpsons, you know, they just call out everything, and
we say enough bullshit, we're bound to be right once.
It's going to be a good day.
Hell yeah. We're going to gloat. There'll be a full podcast of us going, I told you so, we're geniuses.
Dude, you guys didn't listen, man. Our true fans, man, you guys know.
It's funny. Yeah, well, that's a good spot to wrap it up. Thanks.
It's Brittany, bitch. I forgot to show off my shirt.
She's been posting nudes on Instagram.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Where?
Instagram.
Like her verified account? Or
everybody, thank you for watching. Leave a comment. See ya.